What's up, everybody? It's Winning Wednesday. You already know the vibes. It's your girl, Brandi Harvey. Drop where you're listening from, where you're watching from. It's Winning Wednesday. How y'all doing today? I'm in a new location. Couldn't be in the set today. We moving some things around. It's Winning Wednesday. Atlanta, Georgia's in the building. Cleveland, Ohio is most definitely in the house. It's Winning Wednesday. All my YouTube watchers, good to see y'all in the building. All my Instagram watchers, all my replay watchers, good to see y'all. It's Winning Wednesday. I see Atlanta, Georgia's here. Good to see y'all. Memphis, Tennessee is in the building. It's Winning Wednesday. How y'all doing today? How y'all doing this Winning Wednesday? I'm not going to be before you long. I'm going to hit it and quit it today, y'all. I'm going to hit it and quit it, New York. Good to see you. It's Winning Wednesday. California is in the building. Dallas, Texas. What's up? They said, hey, Brandi. What's up, y'all? Dallas, Texas. Jacqueline's in the building. It's Winning Wednesday. LA is in the building. Good to see you. Hello. Good to see y'all. It's Winning Wednesday. I'm taping. I'm in the office today. Oklahoma City is in the building. I'm so glad y'all doing well. Let me tell y'all, your girl was stressed out. Detroit is in the house. She said, I'm here. What's up, Kelly? Good to see you. It's Winning Wednesday. Y'all, your girl was stressed. Nakia knows I've been stressed, child. We redoing the studio for season 4. I am taping season 4. Today is my first day taping season 4, Barbados. Good to see you. It's Winning Wednesday. Maryland's in the building. Good to see you. It's my first day taping season 4. And, you know, when things go wrong, as they sometimes will, Bay Area, good to see you. It's Winning Wednesday. Charlotte, North Carolina, the Queen City is in the building. Good to see y'all. It's Winning Wednesday. What's up, YouTube? How y'all doing? When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, okay? What's going on? Let me tell y'all, everything is not going to go as planned. You know, we've been waiting on rugs. We've been waiting on stuff to be delivered. And child, it wasn't here. Taped the first episode without the rug. Your girl was so pissed about this rug, y'all. I was so through, Miss Tawana, about this rug. I was so through, Christy, that this rug wasn't here for this episode. But you know what? It still looks beautiful. One monkey don't stop no show, child. What's up? Valerie's in the building. What's up, True Bulldog? Good to see you. Nashville is checking in on YouTube. Good to see y'all. It's Winning Wednesday. Seattle is in the building. Y'all, but when I tell y'all, Q4, when I tell y'all champions are made in the fourth quarter, Never Scared Ministries, what's up? Good to see y'all. It's Winning Wednesday. When I tell you champions are made in the fourth quarter, when I tell you that do not count yourself out, do not think it's too late, do not think that you don't have enough time on the clock, because I'm here to tell you champions are made in the fourth quarter. Because let me say this, if somebody would have told me how my Q4 was going to shape up at the top of the year, I would have said, I know you lying. Can I share something with y'all? I was thinking I wasn't going to share this, but I feel like this might help somebody. They said fourth quarter pressure. Come on, Butler Party of 4 is in the building. Good to see you. It's Winning Wednesday. Dion, good to see you. It's Winning Wednesday. Let me tell y'all this, because I said I told Nakia I'm not going to be before you long, because my next guest comes at 3:30, and so I got to change my clothes. But let me say this. If somebody would have said, Butler Party of 4, that what I was going to do in Q4, if somebody would have told me in January what I was going to do, South Carolina, if somebody would have told me what I was going to do in the first quarter and what was going to transpire in the fourth quarter, I'm here to tell y'all I wouldn't believe. I wouldn't have believed them. So let me tell y'all, let me give y'all a quick story. So here's how God be laughing at our plans. Miss Pam from Fort Worth, Texas is in the building. Let me tell y'all how God be laughing at our plans. Because if you've been following me for a number of years, if you have listened to me do talks, if you've heard me speak, as there was a moment in time when I thought I was supposed to go to seminary school. I was supposed to go to seminary. I said, if you've been following me, you know that I applied to Emory many, many years ago, got into Emory, deferred my admissions not once, but I deferred my admissions twice. California, good to see you. It's Winning Wednesday. I deferred my admissions twice to Emory. The last time was 10 years ago. I deferred my admissions. And I said, I don't want to go to school. I'm not trying to be no pastor. I'm not trying to be no preacher, YouTube. I'm not trying to do that. Now, when people hear me speak, they be like, Brandi, you know you a pastor girl. You know you a preacher girl. Now, I got all of that. I said, I don't want to do that because I don't want to do that, God. Like, I ain't trying to do that. That ain't what I want to do because I don't want to do that. So I defer my admissions. I say, you know, God, send me on another path because that's not the path. I'm not supposed to go to seminary. I don't want to go back to school. Now, if you follow me, a couple weeks ago, I went to Princeton to speak at a food and faith workshop at Princeton University. Now, I've been speaking at Princeton University for the last 15 years. I have been speaking at Princeton University every year since 28 years old. I've been speaking at a program called At the Well at Princeton University, a girls' leadership academy over the summer at Princeton. I've done that for 14 years. This was year 15. We didn't have the program. They didn't have the program this year because of funding. Well, then I didn't speak at Princeton this summer, but somehow I get invited to come speak at Princeton for a faith and food workshop at the seminary. Now, I'm going to this because I have produced a documentary called Sisters Getting Well. It's about chronic disease. Miss Moss said, every time you speak, I learned we have so many things in common. I dropped out of seminary for bad habits. They said At the Well is in the house. Okay, here we go, y'all. So I go to Princeton a couple weeks ago to speak. And y'all, when I tell y'all Louisiana, my ADD kicked in so tough. I'm at this seminary listening to people do these workshops and stuff. And thank you, South Carolina. Good to see you. It's Winning Wednesday. Y'all, I go to this workshop, and y'all, when I say my ADD done kicked in so tough, y'all, I was up in there about to lose my shit because it was so boring. Now I was like, Lord, I said, my ADD done kicked in. I don't have it in me to listen. I said, now y'all, there is no way I could go back to school. I said, I have the attention span of a 5-year-old. I don't think I could go back to school. I say all of this, y'all. I just want y'all to know. I said all this. So y'all, I'm sitting in this program and there's a man named Nate Stuckey who gets up to do his presentation. And when he gets up to do the presentation, he's the only person that really captivated me the whole time I was there. He talks about this program at Princeton University, program, an ecology program. It's at the Farminary at Princeton University. And I said, man, that's a really cool program. Soil and earth and all these things. And you learn how to you learn how to till the land and incorporate that with scripture and theology. I said, man, that's my type of program. If I ever went to school, I would do that program. I get on to Atlanta the next morning. And as I'm running out of the bathroom, I run into the event. She said, man, you such great work. She said, documentary was so much to think about. It was so much that you all talked about. It made me this morning, I was thinking about it because you all gave me so much to think about when it came to my health. I said, man, that's amazing. That's beautiful. I called Miss Jackie the next day. I said, man, there was a reason why we went to Princeton University. I didn't see it at first, but you know what? It was some people who got something out of it. They said the sound is choppy, y'all. So I'm not going to be on here long. So I apologize if the sound is choppy. I don't know. So y'all, I'm sitting up here and I said I would never go to school. But I tell Miss Jackie on the phone, I said, that program sounded really cool. She said, wow. She said, you would do that program? I said, yeah. She said, I'm going to send Nate Stuckey your email. She sends Nate Stuckey your email. That's on Friday. Saturday morning, I'm sitting outside. They said I'm breaking up. If I'm breaking up, come over to Instagram. All right. If I'm breaking up, let me know on Instagram if I'm breaking up. So by Saturday morning, y'all, Saturday morning, I get an email from Nate Stuckey. Says, "Oh, I would love to talk." So, um, okay, I'm gonna let y'all do that. So I get the email. They said I'm perfect on Instagram. If you're having trouble on YouTube, they said loud and clear. They said no, not breaking up. I am Brandi Harvey on Instagram. If you want to make sure I'm not breaking up. So y'all, I said I'm not going to nobody's school. I'm not going to nobody's school. Monday, I don't know how, I get in an email with the recruitment department from the seminary. By Monday, y'all, this I'm giving you the timeline. Friday, I say, yeah, that's a cool program. I would do something like that. Saturday, I'm in an email with the man who runs the program. Monday, I'm on a call with the recruitment department for Princeton University Seminary. Y'all, by Sunday night, I had an application submitted to Princeton Seminary. Y'all, if somebody would have told me, Brandi, by the fourth quarter, you're going to apply to go to seminary school, Brandi, by the fourth quarter, you're about to think about how you're going to uproot your life in the next 6 months. If somebody would have told me, y'all, I would have said, I know you lying. Baby, I know you lying. But here's what I know. God laughs at our plans. We make all the plans in the world. We have all these ideas, these big, grandiose ideas about who we are, what our lives will be, what we think we are called to do, what we know we've been called to do. And I'm here to tell you, in a matter of 1 week, your girl then got 3 recommendations, got a transcript sent off, got a essay written, done essay questions, and on Sunday evening, I hit submit to go to Princeton University. I interview with the university tomorrow. Here's what I'm telling y'all. I know we think we are in control. I know we think we got it all figured out. I know we think we got the roadmap. But here's what I know to be true. God has something bigger in store. It's something that you weren't thinking about. It's something that you weren't talking about. It's something that you were not imagining for your life. And y'all, I interview for Princeton tomorrow. And I wasn't going to say nothing, but I said this is for somebody whose year didn't start off how it's about to end. I'm giving you this story because I know you had a plan at the top of 2025, but as we roll into the end of 2025, there's something new, there's something different, there's a different way that God is about to move in your life. And so I'm here to tell you that I didn't have a plan to do this January. But by November, God said, I know you real funny. Girl, you so cute. You so funny. I know your ass think you got all the plans in the world. But baby, I'm about to disrupt some stuff in your life. And so y'all, I'm here to tell you, this is a season of disrupting. I'm here to tell you, this is a season where you're going to have to try something new. I know, I literally, y'all, I sat on the phone with one of the people who is writing my letter of recommendation. But by Monday, y'all, last week, I already had 2 of the people who was writing my recommendation. I wrestled for the rest of the week with who was going to be the 3rd person. I had a whole list. I said, well, I could do this person, I could do that person. Now, baby, let me say this. Everybody on the list is a heavy hitter. Everybody on the list, baby, they got power. Everybody on the list, man, they doing something wonderful in the earth. But here's what I need you to understand. By Friday, I sat on the phone with the last person to recommend me for the program. And she said every last one of them said I would be honored. Brandi, this is absolutely, I would be honored. Tell me what you need. What do I need to do? Where do I need to sign? What do I need to do? All the things. And my last recommender says, some people can, other people can't, Brandi. Some people can, others can't. And there are some things in your life that you can do, but God is letting you know you can't do that because you built different. I sat on the phone with the other recommender at the top of the week, and she said to me, Brandi, you are able, go do your work. And so for everybody who is listening, I need you to understand that in this fourth quarter, you were able, go do your work. I know it didn't look like what you thought it was going to look like at the top of the year. I know it don't feel like what you thought how this was going to end out. But y'all, literally, I sat on the phone the other day and I started tearing up with one of my mentors, and I started tearing up on the phone. She said, What's wrong? She said, you scared? I said, I'm scared as hell. And she said, that's exactly why you should be doing it. And so I know that for somebody who is watching this right now, you are scared as hell for the next chapter that you're about to enter into your life. Because I know, baby, I went to bed the other night. I had to force myself. I said, Brandi, if you just don't go to sleep, it's above you now. Okay. Listen, I said, it's above you now, Brandi. You got to go to bed. I'm sitting up here thinking, I said, well, Brandi, I'm a woman of routine. I like my routine. I get up at the same time every morning. I go to the gym every single morning at the same time. I have the same routine. I have the same people in my life. I'm accustomed to doing the same thing. And God said, in this season that I'm calling you to go higher, to get more, I need you to disrupt all of that. I need a disruption. Y'all, so I asked God I said, now I be talking crazy. Y'all, they said Chaplain Geraldine said, God sent me to this live. Jacqueline said, I am this person. Here's what I know. I said, God, I know you lying. If you want me to do this, you need to make this. God, fill in the blank, baby. I be cussing at God. I know y'all don't, because y'all sanctified and y'all holy. Okay, but I be cussing at God. And so I be cussing with him because I be like, that's my homie. I got to talk to you like you got to understand me. Like, you got to help this shit make it make sense. I said, God, I need you to make it so clear as to why I'm supposed to do this. I'm driving from the gym the next morning. I'm driving down the freeway the next morning. And God said, you have to leave Atlanta because you got to remove every distraction. It was like audible. It was audible, y'all. You got to leave Atlanta because you got to remove every distraction. If you stay, because I told Carly, y'all, I'm sitting up here. I said, Carly, I said, talk me out of this. I said, please talk me out of this. Carly said, if this was 10 years ago, Brandi, she said, I will be able to talk you out of this. If this was 10 years ago, Brandi, I would have something for you to say, Brandi, you know, you could be doing something else. This ain't what you're supposed to be doing. She said, but at this stage of your life, she said, third time's a charm, Brandi. She said, God would not keep putting this in your path if you were not supposed to do this. She said, you have deferred too many times. She said, God's like, okay, let me remove you so you can go do what you're supposed to do. I said, Brandi, I said, you got to be crazy, because you could have taken your ass up to Emory right on up the street, and you could be staying at your house, and you could be driving from your condo. You could be doing that. And God said to me audibly while I'm driving down the freeway the other day, God said, you got to remove every distraction. So for everybody who needs something in this season, baby, you're going to have to remove the distractions. Because in order to have some stuff disrupted in your life, in order to take you to another level, in order to move in the direction that God is sending you, you got to remove the distractions. And so, y'all, I am literally thinking over the next 6 months, how do I get my life in order? I just redid my studio. I just got new drapes. I just got new chairs. I got new furniture. I'm sitting up here like, God, I know you playing in my face. I got plans. I got some stuff I'm trying to do. And God said, yeah, you're going to figure all that out. Don't worry, but I need this from you. You're going to figure all that out. I just need this time. And here's the thing. This is what makes it so different, is because this program, they said, Chris said, respectfully, Emory is great, but Princeton is superb. Bye. Okay. Let me say this. So a few weeks ago on my live, now I said, I told my girl Candace Davis, shout out to Candace Davis, who helped me write Breakthrough Soul Separately. I told Candace, I said, she always be like, Brandi, when are you going to seminary? And I said, girl, if I ever went to seminary, I said, baby, I'm gonna have to go to Ivy. I'm gonna have to go to Ivy. I'm gonna have to go Ivy League. Okay, God said say less. God said say less. They said say less. Listen, they said say less. God said, okay, cool. Oh, you need an Ivy? Let me go ahead and you've been going to Princeton for 15 years, Brandi. You've been going to Princeton Seminary for the last 15 years. Y'all, I've been speaking at Princeton Seminary since I was 28 years old. I need y'all to understand that, YouTube. I need y'all to understand that, IG. I've been speaking at Princeton Seminary every year for the last 15 years. And not one time did I say, this is the place I should be. Y'all, I've been going there 15 years. It's amazing what God will do. He will keep putting you in a spot. You don't even know why you in that spot. He will keep saying, okay, all right, girl, I guess it's gonna take you 15 years. It's gonna take you 15 years to get a clue on what you're supposed to be doing. It's gonna take you 15 years, but here's what I know. It ain't never too late. It's always on time. Y'all, I submitted my application. I was so proud the other day. What I wrote, what I submitted. I was so happy. And I submitted it. And and I said, well, it's above me now. And what I said was, I said, well, Brandi, you ain't about to carry this shit through the holiday now. Come on now. You're not about to carry this through the holiday. I said, so when you submit the application, they give you the option to do an in-person interview. And I said, well, I'm real good live, baby. You know, I come alive on you know, in person. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm that girl. You know, I let me get an interview. They put up that week, and I said, well, Brandi, I guess you're going to do it this week. You might as well just go ahead and knock this out this week. So I interviewed this week. I interview on Thursday. And I literally have no idea what the next 6 months is going to look like. I have no idea. The program is 1 year. It's 13 months. The program is 13 months. It's a master's of theology and ecology. I'm going to be a year on a farm. I'm going to be learning about God and soil and nature and food justice and sustainability around the world. And I couldn't have done this 10 years ago because I wasn't ready to do it 10 years ago. And they didn't even have this program 10 years ago. They just got the program in 2023. So look at God, I'm right on time for what I'm supposed to be doing. And it's so unconventional, and it's not a master's of divinity. It's not that. It is so unconventional. It's everything that I know I am, so unconventional. But for everybody who started off the year with one idea about who they are and what they are supposed to do and who they are to become, I'm here to tell you, I need you to disrupt in this season. Q4 looks very different than Q1. And I am so grateful for what I know God is about to do in my life. I'm so grateful for how he is about to move. I'm so grateful for what this season of uncomfortability, of being out of my comfort zone. I'm sitting up here like, y'all live in Atlanta. It's the blackest city in America. And baby, besides Jackson, Mississippi, and Detroit. Listen, I live in the blackest city in America. I'm about to go up to Princeton, New Jersey, with nothing but the whites. Listen, Miss China said, it's always been yours, Brandi. I am in real tears because the calling on your life is so great. Y'all, when I say scared does not begin to describe every feeling that I felt this week. When I say it does not begin to just sum up all the feelings that I have had to temper this week, but I came to tell somebody, baby, it's time to disrupt some stuff. It's time to get uncomfortable about some stuff. It's time to make some stuff plain in your life that we can run as hard and as fast as we want to. But baby, what is for you will always find you. What you are supposed to do will always catch you. What you are supposed to do will always need you. And so that's where I am. And so I had to get on here this week to tell y'all, because I'm going to tell y'all next week how the interview went. because I interview tomorrow. I'm gonna tell you next week how it went. And everybody who I've said, yeah, I applied, they're like, wait, what, Brandi? I'm like, I know, life be coming at you fast. Like, better have Geico. Like, y'all, like all the things that I was not even thinking about. And here we are. And so in this season, it might require you to disrupt some stuff. In this season, it's going to require you to get uncomfortable about some stuff. But I am so grateful for it. I'm so happy about it, because what else I'm doing? Listen, I was like, Brandi, you got a studio. You can be able to fly in. You're gonna be able to fly in. You ain't uprooting that much. You got a place here. What you talking about? You still got a place to come to. Like this is just it's just a thing. It's just one more thing. My little cousin, for all y'all before I log off of here, my little cousin, I tell her the other day, shout out to Lexi. So I tell Lexi on Monday, I said, hey, I submitted my application for seminary. She was like, you want to be a pastor? And I said, no, girl. And she was like, well, why are you going to seminary? And I said, well, people do, they have all walks of life and they go to different, they go to seminary for different reasons. And she was like, oh, I didn't know that. She was like, oh, I was like, oh, I didn't know you want to be a pastor. I said, I have no desire to be a pastor. And I'm telling her, she was like, Brandi, you are like the queen of the side quest. You are like the ultimate side quest queen. And so I was like, oh, what? And she said, you the ultimate side quest queen. And so I said, what's a side quest? She was like, like it's like something that's like not like on your path. Like it's like the thing that you like, it's something that's like really good and really cool, and it makes you like happier and it brings some joy to your life, but it's a side quest. So y'all, I get off the phone with her and I'm on Google, what is a side quest? Now, y'all, my whole algorithm is about people with a damn side quest. Okay, my whole algorithm is about people and a side quest. I'm sitting up here like, okay, now I get it. I'm on a side quest, y'all. And I said, so when it says like, is something that brings real joy to your life, it's something that is not the norm of your your career path, and all this is something different, but it brings you exceptional joy, it brings you all these things. I was like, yeah, I'm the queen of a side quest. And so I'm entering into my side quest era, y'all. I just want y'all to know. So yeah, and that's it. So who knows? I mean, next year this could be we in a whole different, y'all gonna be following me along. Somebody asked on YouTube, Chaplain Geraldine said, it's on a farm. Yeah, if you look it up, Princeton has a farminary. It's called the Farminary. And so Princeton owns a farm, and they have created a theological program that is centered around God's creation and earth. And so I was like, that's my type of carrying on. And so yeah, that is what I am doing. I submitted my application. The side quest culminated right back to the main objective. Amen. It sure did. It's always been the same, even when I was writing my autobiographical essay, and I'm linking all the things that I've done, right? From Beyond Her to writing Breakthrough Soul separately, from going to silent meditation retreat, from doing a TEDx talk, to all these things that have really helped shape these different parts, to the mentoring, to the programs that I've done. All of this has really been all the fuel, everything in my arsenal that I've needed to be this version of myself. Bought over the last 3 years. We're coming up on 3 years in January that we've been doing the show. And I will say this, Bought has grown me. It has expanded me. It has tested me. It has grown me up, as a creator, as a speaker, as a storyteller, as someone who conveys stories to the world. It has just been so wonderful. And so here we are in a side quest, another side quest. So with that, it's Winning Wednesday. You already know the vibes. Miss Tanya, Miss China said, "Go get it, Brandy. You were meant to go, ye therefore. You are for the culture, preacher. Your realness will continue to win souls for God." Amen. In this way, listen. In the way, I used to, say, Miss China, for everybody's listening, for everybody who feels like they are not who they're supposed to be, right? I used to say, like, I'm not no preacher. I'm not supposed to do that. I literally just stood up in Jamaica and said how I defer to missions, and how Miss Felicia, who, shout out to Miss Felicia, who every time she hears me, every time I pray at one of the events, every time I speak, she's always like, when are you going to school? Like, when are you going to seminary? And I was like, I said, and she said, Brandy, I am not going to ask you no more, because I understand, like, you don't have to have that. You don't have to have that. And I was like, I can do all things. That was my message. I can do all things, right? And I kept saying, like, I don't have to go to seminary. And no, I don't have to go to seminary, right? I don't have to go, but it keeps getting put in my path for me to go. And I literally stood up in Jamaica and told them people how I don't, I deferred to missions twice. I don't need to. I can do all things. I don't have to go to seminary to be called to preach. When God needs me to be the preacher, I show up as a preacher. When God needs me to be the teacher, I show up as a teacher. When He need me to show up as the Luke Shake dance, I know how to show up as that too, right? I can do all things. But here's what I know: there is something for me that is supposed to refine me in this season of my life. And just like as I wrote in my essay, I'm not going to Princeton. I'm not coming to Princeton to find my call. I'm coming to Princeton to refine my call. And so, with that, for everybody who needs a little refinement in this season, for everybody who needs a little more in this season, um, you can be a disruptor if you allow your life to be disrupted a little bit. You can find some comfort the moment you get uncomfortable. And you can go be and do all the things you were called to do. It's Winning Wednesday. You already know the vibes. It's your girl, Brandi Harvey. Until next time, you guys, eat well, give a damn, move your body every single day. Peace. All right, YouTube. Thanks for checking in. We out. All right, IG.